Have you ever stopped to think about where your trash really goes? Or how much water it takes to produce your morning cup of coffee? Shocking as it may be, the average American generates about 4.9 pounds of waste every day. That's around 1/800 pounds a year. And here's a staggering fact. Only 9% of plastic waste is ever recycled. The rest ends up in landfills or our oceans, contributing to the more than 5 trillion pieces of plastic currently floating in our seas. Sustainable living sounds simple. Buy eco-friendly products, recycle, and reduce waste. But the truth is, it's a lot more complicated than that. Many green choices come with hidden costs and unexpected consequences. From the environmental impact of electric cars to the realities of living in eco-villages, there's much to unpack. In this video, we'll dive into 6 crucial chapters that reveal the surprising truths behind sustainable living. You'll learn why popular beliefs might be misleading and discover practical strategies to make a real difference. Ready to challenge what you thought you knew about going green? Let's get started. Chapter 1. The hidden costs of green choices. At first glance, switching to eco-friendly products seems like the easiest way to reduce your environmental impact. However, not all green options are as clean as they appear. Take electric cars, for instance. Sure, they don't run on gasoline, but the production of batteries is energy-intensive and involves mining rare earth metals. A single electric vehicle, EV battery, can take as much as 500,000 gallons of water to produce, and most of that mining happens in countries with weak environmental regulations. Then there's the issue of greenwashing. Some companies slap eco-friendly labels on products that barely meet sustainability standards. A study from TerraChoice found that 95% of products claiming to be green were guilty of at least one form of greenwashing. This makes it tough for consumers to make truly sustainable choices. The key here is to focus on quality over quantity. Instead of buying new green products, consider upcycling or repairing what you already own. It's often better to keep using an older car or phone than to buy a shiny new eco-friendly one. Small changes, like buying second-hand or supporting local businesses, can have a bigger impact than jumping on every new green trend. Chapter 2. Minimalism isn't the answer, but it's a start. The idea of minimalism, living with less, is appealing. It can reduce clutter, save money, and cut down on waste. But minimalism alone won't save the planet. In fact, the average minimalist still produces over 4 pounds of waste per day, which adds up to over 1,600 pounds per year. The issue isn't just how much we own, but how much we consume. Minimalism can easily turn into a cycle of purging old items, only to replace them with new, minimalist ones. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people often fall into the trap of minimalist consumerism, buying more things to support a minimalist lifestyle. It's important to realize that consuming less is more sustainable than just owning fewer items. What's the solution? Start by embracing mindful consumption. Ask yourself if you truly need something before you buy it. If you do, consider borrowing, renting, or buying secondhand. You can also look into alternatives like the circular economy, where items are designed to be reused, repaired, and eventually recycled. It's about extending the life of things, rather than simply owning less. Chapter 3. The recycling myth. Where does your waste really go? We've all been told to recycle. Toss your plastics in the blue bin and feel good about doing your part. But here's the shocking truth. Only about 9% of plastic actually gets recycled. The rest ends up in landfills or worse, in our oceans. In fact, a report by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation predicts that by 2050, there could be more plastic in the ocean than fish by weight. Why is this happening? The global recycling system is broken. China, which used to process most of the world's recyclables, stopped accepting foreign waste in 2018. This created a crisis for many countries, including the US, which has been struggling to find new markets for its recyclables. Many plastics, especially the ones with number 3 and 6 and 7 labels, are not recyclable at all in most facilities. The problem isn't just recycling, it's overproduction. Companies are churning out billions of tons of single-use plastics each year. The best way to tackle this is to focus on the first 2 R's, reduce and reuse. Cut down on single-use products like plastic water bottles and coffee cups. Instead, switch to reusable options. You'd be amazed at how much waste you can avoid by carrying a reusable shopping bag or water bottle. Another powerful strategy is supporting policy changes. Some cities have already started banning single-use plastics. and pressure on large companies to reduce plastic packaging is growing. By supporting these initiatives, you can help create long-term change that goes beyond just filling your recycling bin. If you're finding this content valuable, please hit the subscribe button for more tips on sustainable living. Chapter 4. The Energy Trap. Why going off-grid isn't as simple as you think. Going off the grid sounds like the ultimate green dream, right? Generating your own power, living independently from the energy companies. It all feels so sustainable. But there's a reason more people aren't doing it. Going off-grid comes with serious challenges, many of which aren't obvious until you dive into the details. Take solar panels, for example. They seem like a no-brainer for sustainable energy. But producing the materials for solar panels, like silicon and rare metals, creates a large carbon footprint. In fact, it can take 2 to 3 years for a solar panel to pay back the energy it took to create it. And that's not counting the fact that solar panels have a lifespan of around 20-25 years, after which they become difficult to recycle. Storage is another issue. Solar energy works great when the sun is shining, but what about at night or on cloudy days? Most off-grid homes rely on lithium-ion batteries to store energy. These batteries are costly and have their own environmental concerns, from mining lithium to safe disposal at the end of their life. According to a report by Bloomberg, the demand for lithium is expected to increase tenfold by 2030, raising concerns about supply and sustainability. Instead of going fully off-grid, a more practical solution is to consider hybrid systems. These systems allow you to stay connected to the grid when necessary, but still use renewable energy for most of your needs. You can also invest in energy-efficient appliances and make small changes, like insulating your home properly, to reduce overall energy consumption. Sometimes, the most sustainable energy choice is not using energy at all. Chapter 5. Eco-villages, utopia or unattainable dream. Eco-villages are often seen as the pinnacle of sustainable living, communities where people grow their own food, generate their own energy, and live in harmony with nature. It sounds like a dream, but the reality is that starting or joining an eco-village is far from simple. In fact, most eco-villages fail to survive longer than a few years. One of the biggest challenges is self-sufficiency. While growing your own food might work in theory, it's a lot harder in practice. Climate, soil quality, and access to water can all limit how much you can grow. In some successful eco-villages, like Findhorn in Scotland, community members still rely on imported food for a significant portion of their diet. Social dynamics can also complicate things. Living in close-knit communities means that conflicts are inevitable. One study found that 70% of intentional communities face serious challenges with group decision-making and shared leadership. It takes a lot of effort to keep everyone on the same page and working toward shared goals. Still, eco-villages can offer valuable lessons. You don't need to move to a commune to live sustainably. Instead, think about how you can adopt some of the principles of eco-villages in your daily life. Start a community garden, share tools with your neighbors, or participate in local sustainability projects. Building strong local networks can be just as impactful as living off the land. If you enjoyed this content and want to learn more about making sustainable choices, please subscribe to our channel for more insights.